Yeah, so the carnivore diet, I was just explaining this to a family member who is on the carnivore diet. Thank God. I've been trying to get her to do it for a while. And you need to have your meals be at least 70% fat. And so, what that means is probably, depending on the type of protein that you're eating, not just cooking it in fats, but also adding fats on top of it before you eat it. Don't forget, as carnivores, we're going to be running on fat for fuel. And so if you're not giving yourself enough fat, you're not going to thrive. You're going to have lots of energy issues, and you're not going to be fully fat adapted, because then you're not giving yourself the fat source that you need for fuel, and your body then needs to go convert protein into glucose, called gluconeogenesis. So what you want to do is make sure that you're really giving your body all of those good fats. 70-30 is pretty much the sweet spot for making sure that you're thriving on this way of eating. And so to hit your 70-30, cooking in tallow, butter, ghee is sometimes not enough. You need to be adding that stuff on top of your meals as well. So like if you're cooking a sirloin, for example, in fats, right, a little bit of butter or tallow, you also want to intentionally add fat on top of that piece of steak. So let's talk about what that looks like on your plate or in your bowl. Like a bone broth, you'll want to add some butter or tallow into the bone broth. Like a ribeye is usually along the lines of a 70-30. If you're doing like eggs, obviously you're really getting good fats from your yolks, but you want to cook them in a good fat, and then you want to drizzle some melted fat on top. Even something like a ground beef 80-20, you're going to be rendering some of the fat out of that beef when you're cooking it. So make sure that you keep that in. If you do not like the feeling of that rendered fat, that like melted fat, then you're going to make sure that you're even adding more butter on top of it when you're serving that meal. I mean, this is why I love a ribeye, because there's no guesswork in it. You get all of that good fat in it. That's why I love things like all the chuck roast and brisket, because you're getting lots of good fat inside of that meat. And for me, that feels like it's the best scenario for me to actually understand how my hunger hormones work and to really listen to my body. I'm not guessing and pouring butter on top of a meal. It's like it all comes naturally in the beef. But yes, if you're having something lean, you also want to add the fats on, and you'll just get really good at it. My recommendation would be go by your body, listen to your biofeedback. If you're having chicken wings, make sure that you're pouring some butter on top, or you're frying them in tallow. If you're having chicken, obviously you're having the skin. If you're having salmon, you're also having the skin. So you're looking for ways to include the natural form of the fat with the protein, but then you're also not just cooking in 1 tablespoon of fat, but you're adding it on top. And if you want to get really good at it, then you just go into your tracker app, and you measure out and you see what it feels like to cook in a tablespoon of butter, and then add another tablespoon or 2 on top of the meat, depending on what your serving size looks like, and then just put that all in to your app and see what the percentages are. And then you don't have to track forever, but you can just, like, if you're curious, you could just go into those apps, have them track it for you, and then get good at eyeballing it.